would now call upon Ashok. He's a tech wizard in disruptive technologies by passion and an entrepreneur by choice. Holds a master's degree in business administration from University of Amsterdam and IIM Ahmedabad. Ashok.
Thank you. Should I hold this in hand? There is my. All right. I first thank everyone to being patient for one of hour, maybe almost 1 hour 30 minutes, and thank you the previous speakers. They have a lot of details, very informative. So mine is a lost presentation, so I'll just keep it very high level. All right, and I'll try to the point. I'm an AI evangelist, so I believe everything about AI. There are people who believe otherwise. So I'll keep the discussion on the high level. Oh, where is it? All right, so that's about me, and thank you for Gunjan introducing, so I can skip this slide. All right. Really, we think AI is something which we are doing right now, past couple of years. But if you look at, well, maybe the technology is new, but if you look at when did we, as a human beings, try to replicate or try to duplicate human intelligence or recreate or play God, right? That was for 1206. There was people trying to create a programmable automata. This is like a bunch of machines which can play music, create music. That's 1200 CE, Common Era. That's like long before, a few 3,000 years. Well, when you talk about AI in a modern context, we call John McCarthy as father of artificial intelligence. He has published a paper on 1950, been actively working on AI, publishing a lot of papers, concepts, right? And those are the concepts which actually make sense now, thanks to technology, big data, and the advent of technology itself. How fast we can process, how much data we can actually churn, that actually given the wings to the concepts which were being discussed long ago. So AI is not new. It's been there for centuries, and 50, 60 years ago, it's been really conceptualized as AI. What is AI? If you really see a human evolution, I mean, whatever technology inventions we have been doing for past how many years? 1,000 years, right? Maybe Stone Age, 10,000 years. We are essentially trying to augment our own capabilities, right? We have a hand, we have a leg, we have we can see, we can hear. Our initial ancestors, Stone Age man, they try to augment their hands by using a spear or a stone. All right, this is something which they can, if you hit an animal with hand, it may not pain. So if you poke it with a spear, it does. So he augmented hands with a tool. And that's where the human intelligence actually started, augmenting our capability with something which is not us, it's something external, right? Well, even now we have lots of machines, like you have a JCB, this and that, hydraulics, all trying to augment our limbs, hands, right? Even the hunting, something between the Stone Age and our generation. Also, a bow and arrow is an augmentation of hand. This is augmenting our legs. All the inventions we are doing are trying to augment. It might be a fastest car. It's still trying to be faster than what you can run with your bare legs. So it's augmenting our legs. Yeah, it's augmenting our hearing capability, isn't it? I mean, of course, communicating the other side. Whatever it is, technology, but we are essentially trying to augment our abilities, right? Our senses. And that's augmenting our eyes. Microscope, which can see very small things, and telescope, which can see the other universe. And nowadays, it's possible. But still, essentially, we are augmenting our eyes. So, our entire invention, what we have done till now, are trying to augment what we already have. That's what we can think. We can only think that. Well, now, you're trying to augment the intelligence, brain itself, right? It's a completely different ball game. Augmenting legs, hands are fine, we can deal with that. Augmenting human intelligence, right? You're recreating the intelligence itself. That's the age we are. That's the dawn of artificial intelligence. Hope that is a pretty high-level introduction to AI. Well, I'll quickly jump into the different use cases, which I'm actually very much interested to bring into the business, right? There are already algorithms which can predict heart diseases for patients, which is 100 times better than doctors. It's been proved by University of Nottingham researchers. It's been already deployed in a couple of UK hospitals, right? There's article references over there. So, essentially any doctor looks at the trends or experience and then try to say, okay, this is what you're going to have in next situation in next 3 years or 4 years. But AI can do it much better. 100 might be even a smaller number. It can do it much better because it can churn a lot of data which a human being cannot actually do. Law and order, you can find criminals easily, make the world a better place, pattern recognition, whatever it is, both the cyber and in the outside world. Retail, I don't want to talk about it because it's going to take a couple of days to actually discuss about it. There are so much of applications in retail space, which I'll just leave it on a high level. Anything, I mean, we can literally track customer psyche and sell something to him, literally. He may not be knowing it, but you can really read his mind. That's where the AI is going from a retail point of view. Well, there are also some other AIs which works on the logistics and other things, but you get the point. AI in banking, all right. So banks are one of the industries. I mean, typically banks are lazy. I won't say lazy. Any from banking background excuse, but they are the people who actually adapt things at the last. But AI. Surprisingly, banking is one of the industry which is really adapting. I have a couple of cases working with JP Morgan Chase. They're really implementing fraud analytics, just based on Bangalore. And more, one of my favorite areas, HR analytics, as Kishore was saying. We as a human being, we are very biased when you hire people, right? And also very limited in terms of analyzing. We analyze people based on the way they speak, how they dress, etc., etc. Not from the real data. We have lots of biases. There are also biases based on the species. When you say species, religion, whatever regional feelings you have. Will you hire a UK guy for you? I mean, if you're a German, you'll never. Dutch people, yeah, they are very open. They can do it. But if you're a German, you're trying to hire a UK person in a top position, there will be so much of resistance, find all kinds of reasons just to say no. You might be a very qualified candidate for that position, right? But if you can actually enable AI to do the work for you, I am a firm believer that most companies' competitive advantage, they have same kind of technology exposure, they have same processes, same tools. What makes difference is people. The people who hire in your organization. If you have the right people in the organization, you'll be successful. Rest all remains more or less same. That's how the technology is denominator is same. HR analytics or hiring or enabling AI to hire is a fantastic solution. And who is going to approve that? HR people. They don't like it. So it's going to take some time to actually get it to the market. But well, it will eventually because that's the way to go. We have many other things, cancer detection, recommendation. The list goes on and on. There are so many applications possible. Well, this I really like. AI can actually fight challenging diseases. They're coming up, not just diagnosing, that's already there. There are a lot of AIs created for diagnosing diseases, but there is a huge research going on finding drugs, combinations of it to fight new diseases, right? It will not be too far, actually, it will be soon. We trust AI more than doctors. I think even now I don't trust my doctors that much, but in the future it will be even more prominent that an AI is what we're going to trust. As a humans, we don't trust each other, but we can trust AI. It's more legitimate. From diagnosis to treatment, everything will be taken over by AI, and that cannot be stopped by anyone. It's going to happen eventually. And I know that Kishore is working in many of the medical related things, which is exactly that space. It's wonderful. Well, AI has a potential to actually impact every aspect of business. May it be a consumer service interactions, may it be your management decision support. And you can have as AI as CEO, you know. How many of your fans of Iron Man or okay, there is a AI called Jovis. Literally, that runs the company. Everyone else just sign, right? You know, that's the future we're looking at. Companies run by AI. I'm not going to say that AI taking over the world and stuff. That is not my area. But I can tell you that companies run by AI is very much possible in the future. Improve marketing and advertising effort. Most of the marketing problem we have is, well, we spend $100 and we know that 50% is going waste. The problem is we don't know which 50%. It's very tough to actually analyze the marketing ROI. My colleague is over here, and that's something which we always break our head. We know that 50% is going waste, but which 50% we don't know. So AI can actually make a huge impact over there. Product design. Might be really surprised that there's advanced research going on in Bangalore for bench. It's in Whitefield, and they are designing bench components using AI. There are about 4,000 engineers working over there. I don't know if 4,000 are working as a design engineers, but quite some people are working in AI design, using AI as a design. They do all the other designs as well, but they're actually introduced AI as well in the design process. And that's really interesting that India can be positioned in that level of doing AI research for information. I tried to talk to this guy many times, I still didn't get into, but it's a research center and it's tough, but yeah. Predicting consumer behavior, I was talking about it. You can actually read the customer. Image, improving logistics, hiring right workforce, I talked about it. Cyber security, big thing. One of the major threats in the future is cyber security. And AI can really help us. It can really, really help us. There are many use cases for it. It's for your interest. Just 2 months ago, an AI called Benjamin. Oh, did I mention his name? Yeah, I call him because it's Benjamin. So Benjamin, he is an AI. It's a piece of code, you know, still a piece of code. Has created an entire movie from writing a script, directing, and even creating the visuals. No human being involved in it. You can Google for it, you can watch the 10, 15, 12 minutes movie or something. That's Benjamin. And even this character did not actually, and I don't know this character, he's supposed to be famous. I'm ignorant about that. But he didn't really actually, I don't think he's alive. We have a movie of him right now. All right, so that's the power of AI. The Benjamin actually written a script 2 years ago in 2016, and people have made a movie out of it. Now he has created his own movie, and in the future, we get a lot of AI movies, and they are really interesting. I suggest to watch YouTube. Just a concluding AI and RPA. There are a lot of opinions outside. I see RPA as an octopus in business. So it can actually connect many modules of things. It can pull in data, it can do something, put it in some other system, it can process something, it can automate certain manual things. It's like an octopus, all right? I differ from you. It doesn't have an intelligence. I don't see intelligence in RPA. It's more like an octopus, all right? It's going to connect. Of course, you can automate a few things. The AI is the intelligence part. So AI code working with RPA gives you a full control. You can basically connect any system to any system, and also you can plug in intelligence with it. So I see a huge synergy between AI and RPA. That's how I see it. Anyone back to differ? Huh? All right. It's beyond any doubt that AI and RPA are likely to play a major impact. Am I audible?
Yeah.
All right. So major impact on the work and productivity over the next decade. There's no question about it. There is absolutely no question about it. The key skills required in the future is less of technical. So, you remember days where people are talking about, okay, you know what, I know this programming language, I can live with that. 20 years. He's thinking about being, let's say, Perl programmer. It's going to be 20 years senior Perl programmer, senior Perl programmer. That's how the psychology of the professionals, literally, and this is how it is. I saw people from Netherlands. I worked there for more than 5-6 years. I spoke with many of the Indian colleagues. Right? I see that they think like, okay, I want a safe technology where I can hang on. There is no such thing, and in the future, your skills are actually measured not by what you know by now, but what's your learning coefficient. How fast you can learn certain things and then be more valuable to the organization. This is going to be a deciding factor for the future. So anyone saying RPA, can I just learn it? And yes, you said that 20 years I can, my daughters can actually work, but I'd rather see it differently. We are right now standing and we don't know what you're looking at. It can be completely different after 5 years, absolutely. Right? There will be a similar situations, but technology-wise, I don't know, AI can actually eat away RPA, for example. Right now they're friends, but tomorrow it can eat away the RPA, and only AI can stand. RPA is completely dead, rest in peace. Right? That could happen. There are a lot of articles and discussions happening in that direction. I see that learning coefficient is what actually people look at in the future, because we cannot really rely on a single technology. Well, I'm not giving any numbers. A lot of numbers already have seen. The demand for data scientists definitely surpass the demand for engineers. That is for sure. It's been proven, projected by many organizations, including IBM. There's some report in IBM which says the same thing, but Gartner, Forbes, a lot of references saying the same thing. And well, given that data scientists are not considered as engineers, because that could be otherwise around, but the engineers traditionally, the developers and other engineering areas, data scientists' demand will definitely surpass that. And as per the IBM report, this is already well known in the market, 2.7 million jobs by 2020. And I think it is actually more humble estimate, could be even more than that.
Is this also report given by the AI?
No, human beings, literally human beings. And I think that's a very near estimate. I have done my math in terms of how many jobs here and there. I think they are very near. That's a good correct estimate.
So you can imagine that we need AI because we're just short of people.
All right. So it's a big challenge when job requirements change so drastically. Right? And especially, people, I'm pretty sure India will go into a bit of a shock in next 2-3 years in terms of BPO industry, because there's about 60% jobs will be disappearing from the market. And I'm sure everyone agrees in this room. And these guys have no clue. I see them every day, they're happy going for lunch, speaking. I was like, oh my God. They are they don't know. I can't tell them, and they don't believe. They look at me as crazy if I do that, right? So, and there's so much of urgency in terms of upscaling human resources, the manpower. Right? They go into the shock a few months or 6 months, they don't have food, or maybe they're surviving somehow, and then they're trying to learn. That is not the good situation. It should be like, you should upgrade yourself, right? And that's a big challenge, because the quality of education and the way to actually find, if you Google, most of the articles in first 3 pages are marketing or blogs. So basically someone put it there is no real stuff, but they want to rank somewhere, so they put it over there. It's very tough to actually crawl and find some genuine knowledge, and even if you find it, it is in bits and parts. It's really difficult to learn from it. There are certain online resources, but still a challenge. I see IABAC plays a very important role in stabilizing the syllabus, and IABAC is actually a spin-off of Edison project from EC Commission. They did a very good work. It's a 2 years project from EC Commission, and they actually they created a knowledge base with a lot of nomenclature that this should be aligned to this. So I really think that IABAC can impact. They actually have a huge impact in that area to align the professional skills towards the industry requirement. Okay? And well, as Joe said, we are living in exciting times. And I call this era as era of augmenting human intelligence. Thank you. Any questions? No numbers or no questions? Yeah, I do have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank
Yes,
you for
please.
your presentation. You were talking about AI and the modeling of part of AI, and that it's even possible that a company can be run by
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
What is your view on de-biasing the model? Because in my view, if you look at the intelligent artificial intelligence, still the spirit of the model maker is inside the model. So you will have biased models, and you will have biased artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So
I don't deny that.
how can we respond to that, or be prepared, or even be aware of the fact that we are creating biased?
I read thank you, very good question. I read about it, and I don't deny it, but I can tell you that the humans biasing is so many times than what you get it from AI, that's number one. But let me just make it more nice answer for you. This AI, we call it as prescriptive analytics. It actually works on 3 different analytics called as descriptive analytics, which basically analyzes the data, summarizes it, visualizes it. And you have predictive analytics, which we all know about, it tries to predict stuff. And then you have discovery analytics, which looks into hidden patterns, which is normally not visible. And this prescriptive analytics actually makes decision, taking these 3 things as input. And it's really data driven. That is, could be a very little scope. If you really have, see, you don't call it a decision when, yeah. So there might be a little bit of biasing, which could be based on the person who designed it. But it's really driven by data. The chances that the biasing will affect the overall company's progress is very minimal. And when compared to human beings, it's absolutely fantastic. The human beings, you know, I heard about stories like this. You know this WTO tower crash, not a good event. US, 2 towers crashed, a lot of people dead. Not a good event, but a lot of senior management also did not survive that event, CEOs, CFOs. Right? And most of the companies are actually dead. And what my opinion is not because the CEO and CFO are dead, because it's actually a good thing that could happen. Any CEO is now becoming a lobbyist, holding his chair. It's like politicians, right? It's just the data which is gone. So that's the main thing. So I really see the current management of any company is more or less very much biased, and they're not really doing justice to the company. It is like they own the company. But when you create a brain for the company itself, then it is the company that makes a lot of difference. Even if there's small bias, it is much better than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think it's very important to be aware that there is a bias, and that we have a choice and the responsibility to be aware that we can create things from a win-win perspective. You know, if that's our belief system, if that's what's put into the artificial intelligence, that's what it will create.
Yeah.
And if we believe in win-losing situations, we'll create artificial intelligence that will create losing.
Yeah, but we still have a human being signing it, you know, you can check and say no. So that should be fine. Thank you. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
That was first, so please.
How do you see DevOps and AI? Are they similar or
Excellent
different?
question. I'm a DevOps expert for your information, and DevOps and AI. Well, DevOps is not, it's just an umbrella term. I assume that you're working in that as well. It's a lot of tools being collected, or the concepts being collected, like you say, continuous delivery architect, CDA, or continuous deployment, all the concepts, continuous integration, right? These are all actually a collection of different concepts. They're given a name as DevOps, and even the tools of the DevOps environment is just evolved separately. The whole point of this evolution is, if I make a change in the software, it should be in the production, and it should be fast. It's not like 1 month release date and wait for the operation to give me a window, but it should be like there. That motivation, because it's all about agility. If the company cannot do it fast, your competitor will do it, you're gone. So that is the drive which actually pushed the DevOps. I don't see much on DevOps. Maybe we can use AI for finding the bugs proactively, or you know, you have write a test case, you're literally writing a test case. The AI can actually create your test cases, because there is a lot of synergy. But that's AI working by itself. DevOps still is, the goal is to push the software. I see, it's a very good point. Yes, AI can actually help DevOps a lot, because you could actually write test cases, create test cases by AI, given the scenarios, and it can make decisions. It can actually say whether the software will go or not, which is much more concrete. I agree with you, yes. I don't know if I answered your question, but
Yeah, that
actually
was-
question triggered me a thinking process in me, so thank you for that. Question, sorry.
Your comment about a German hiring a UK guy really triggered me. Because
No offense.
No, it happens, and it's also also in my experience, what we usually see is that there's excitement, and we really like to have it, and especially RPA is low invasive and it's supporting, so that's good. So everybody is really enthusiastic about this, they really like it. AI is a different thing, because now all of a sudden we sometimes need to trust the system, and that system is telling us something different than a gut feeling. How do we also, as consultants, need to take that into consideration from your perspective? And
Good question, and it's more related to human psychology, very tough, right? If you don't understand, you don't believe. That's how human psychology works. If you only believe things which you understand, which you can control, you're suddenly saying that AI is something which you cannot control, it makes decision by itself. It's a challenge, I don't know the solution. I mean, it's really a challenge. And the only way you can actually cut through the challenge is to show a return on investment on small business cases, implement. You don't say that your company is going to take over AI, then you don't get the next meeting with that guy. So you have to simply look at individual pockets of business opportunities for AI and try to create an ROI for it and prove it. And everyone loves money. I mean, business is about money. So if you can save something or make more profit, then they start allowing you to go for more solutions. I recommend, do not get into the domain where you say AI is going to make decisions for you, then you're done. No solution for that. Did I answer your question?
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Ashok, I have 2 points. One that one of the things I really loved about your presentation, one of the points was of the learning quotient. So I would love to take it offline with anyone who's interested to understand if there is an opportunity to really build a product around measuring learning quotient of employees. Because since you actually spoke in relevance to HR analytics there, I think, and if this is going, and because I also saw a lot of 21st century skills that was part of Joseph's presentation. So just connecting all the dots, because if that's going to form part of a software ability of a candidate, I think it's a huge information, hiring information that we can get. So love to take it offline.
Sure.
Two, would like to know your views on use of machine learning in the IoT space. I think that's one bit that we missed.
This conference is not about IoT, but IoT. IoT is about connecting and making things talk to each other.
Yeah.
All right. And in most often cases, your phone, a human being is actually acting as a connector between things. IoT basically cuts through that. And machines can talk to each other, then they can make better decisions, more eco-friendly, save energy, lots of opportunities. Again, IoT is more like your RPA. Not RPA, it's two difference. But IoT focuses on communication between things. And AI is making them intelligent. You can have one intelligent thing controlling many things in your house, for example. Let's say you have a small cleaning robot who's supposedly more smarter than you. Sometimes it can happen because it's AI. And it's always at home, and it can basically control everything. It can control the security, it can control your energy consumption, it can control, it can actually answer some calls, and a lot of things possibilities. So AI will become a heart or a brain of IoT. IoT is about connecting things, whereas AI is actually the brain itself. There's a huge opportunity as well over there, and there are a lot of people working on it. I'm not expert in that. Thank you. Questions? Yes, please.
During the session, everybody has talked about like many industries like medical and HR and everything. But there is one sector that I am interested in because of my past experience is the agriculture.
Yeah.
No matter how many robots we have at a house, ultimately we have to eat and we have to survive, right?
Very good.
And
I have a robot.
Yeah,
I understand.
I have seen robots increasing the efficiency of the human beings because before they used to use their hands, now have huge tractors which does the 100 days work in minutes. And because I'm from India, 70% of people are from rural. Most of them are living based on farming. How do you say? Most of them have said that AI is not going to take our jobs. It's going to give us a promotion, or it's a increase in our artificial in our
That's a
intelligence and
different question
everything.
altogether, one question at a time.
Yeah. So everything is together is making me think what will happen to that sector, to those people
Sure.
who are completely dependent on producing food.
So
And
it's the same question politicians ask. They'll say that AI is going to take away the jobs. Well, it also creates the jobs. Then you have to know which ratio it is. And it's politician question. I'm not saying a politician, a very genuine question. Let me answer that first. It's the same feeling people had when computers were invented, 1980. And people are working on banks. Right? I know some of them because senior colleagues who actually transitions all the time. Right? And they fear, like, you know what, computer does our job, all our jobs are gone. Right? What actually happened is they moved to the next level. The same people become computer operators, data entry operators, etc. They got trainings in some banks. And actually, as a human beings, we actually widened our range. You know, we are sending, NASA is sending a probe to the sun. And we are terraforming Mars, actually. We are making Mars, we are screwing Mars, to be more correctly. We are not even taking permission from Mars planet, talking about. We are screwing it, and we are terraforming, means you are making it Earth, so that we can go and live there. Right. So, jobs are not going anywhere. You have different jobs. So, you explore the origins. You go deeper in the Earth, you go up in the space, explore things. You're basically going to populate the entire universe. So, you have more jobs. You can go to Mars and work there. So that's like very high level answer. So what I mean to say is that jobs are transformed. Right? It does have an effect. I mean, in the short term there will be some people suffering, but that's how any technology breakthrough goes. That's how it goes. So and no one can stop it. So live with it. The best way is to upgrade yourself, and whoever you can reach, educate them to upgrade the skills. Not like I work in TCS, they don't throw the people away. Yes, they do. Otherwise, they will be dying. There is no company on the planet, who just save the people because they are human friendly. Then the company die itself. So save it. So you open a window for another small discussion, 2 minutes. Agriculture is one of the fields which really can benefit from AI, and actually. One of the colleague, a speaker I invited is Venu Ray. He is actually fully into it. In Tumkur, he actually has a container, and he is trying to create automatic farming. Again, farmers will lose job. I don't mind, so I don't say no for that. But a robot, when you say it's not a physical robot, it's like cameras and other stuff, so a piece of software which can actually look at the plant, decide how much sun rays it wants. There is no sun, there's just the bulbs, all right? And there is no soil. You can cultivate your entire crop inside a container. And it is already proven. There is 2 containers in Tumkur, very near to this place. Has done the experiment, and maybe his friend who joined today from IBM can actually talk more about it. But I spoke with him. So you just lock the container. In 15 days, your crop is ready. And you can even have a robot to actually harvest for you. Right? You can do this in UAE, for example. There's lots of deserts over there. So you can put a solar cell on the top of the container and put some 100 containers, and you can make a hell of food out of it. Of course, sun doesn't have any problem with energy, just the conversion factor we have a problem. We have no food, but you have rains coming in, you have sun, energy is not a problem. You have a lot of energy in the universe. It's a conversion to some matter which you can actually eat and digest. And I see this container is really has a huge opportunity in the future. And you can actually solve, people say that you cannot solve the world hunger. Yes, we can, thanks to AI. It can be possible.
To comment on that, I saw an interesting video recently on LinkedIn posted by someone who was in the agricultural business as well, where the AI was able to read everything from sunlight, moisture, all those kinds of things, and the robot would just be able to give the plant the exact amount of water it needed in different stages of growing. It's really interesting to see how they can do it, but it's really
It's in Tulkur,
improving.
we have done it in Bangalore.
All right, I'm not sure, okay,
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's the same experiment, but
Yeah,
it's.
very much, because we use lights from Philips.
Interesting.
We have a particular rays, because not every plant requires the same kind of, all kind of radiations.
Yeah.
It requires a specific wavelength,
Yeah.
right? And you can actually do this image recognition, see
Yeah.
which plant requires what kind of radiation, what kind of water. Actually,
Yes.
just before, it's just 5% of the water you need to cultivate. We are wasting 95% of the water.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of use cases possible.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Any questions? No? All right. Thanks a lot, and I'll give it back to yeah. Thank you.
I think we need to sit down
Thank
and
you,
have a
Ashok.
break.
That was indeed interesting.